Let's talk about Teofimo Lopez claiming that Devin flat out ducked him. And when he texted his number, Devin immediately went and changed his phone number. We're going to speak on that in this video. I'm going to give y'all my take on what Teo had to say. But before we do that, make sure y'all hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. So Teo got a fight coming up on Super Bowl weekend on February the 8th. And I believe he's fighting on a Friday. I believe that's a Friday. And he doing his media run. And we know when Teo get on the scene, he always say a lot of shit that shock people. He say crazy stuff and he say a lot of real things. But of course, we focus on the craziest shit that he say. And he can do that with the best of them, him and his daddy. And that's exactly what he been doing lately. He even said himself, man, he know how to work the media and he know how to say things for shock value. But we know, man, that Teo and Devin Haney, they've had a long history with each other. They've gone back and forth, but they didn't did everything but fight. So on several different occasions, we had Devin Haney and Bill claiming that Teofimo Lopez was ducking them. And then we've also had on several different occasions Teofimo Lopez and his pops claiming that Devin and Bill was ducking them. So this is a back and forth ongoing situation. Now, recently, Teo, he just came out and he said something funny, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was funny what he said. But do I believe what he said? It's a whole different story. And I'll let y'all know if I believe what Teo said or not. Now, what Teo said is he tried to make a fight with Devin at 140. And he said he texted Devin Haney to get it popping so he could start the conversation so they could talk to each other behind the scenes and see what they could work out before they went to the promoter. Well, he says that Devin Haney then immediately changed his phone number. He said he didn't block me. He changed his phone number. And when I heard that, I started laughing because I could hear Devin Haney's voice in my head like, Dad, hey, he's calling, Dad. He wants, I'm not fighting him, Dad. I'm fighting Regis, Dad. We got to change our number, Dad. He's calling again, Dad. He won't stop calling, Dad. I'm just fucking with y'all, man. I'm just playing. But nah, for real though, he claiming that Devin Haney changed his number and all of that. And he really didn't elaborate on it no more. He was just like, don't nobody want smoke with me. Now, this is the thing. I don't know if Teo is telling the truth. I don't know if he just talking shit to get a laugh out of people. But one thing I do know is the history that's happened between them two, right? Now, I know in the past that Teo, he lied about sending Devin Haney a contract because his own promoter, Bob Arum, came out and said, what the fuck do you mean Teo and his father sent out a contract? That's a lie. Teofimo Lopez and his father don't have the authority to send out a contract. And so we know that Teo has lied about things like that in regards with Devin Haney in the past. We also heard Teofimo Lopez's father, right, when he got pressed by Bill, say things like, hey, bro, tell him to pay us $20 million, bro. Yeah, Poppy, $20 million, Poppy. And so, obviously, at that point in time, we can see that Teofimo Lopez and his team had no intentions on fighting Devin Haney. When Teofimo, when he went and fought George Kambosos to defend his IBF mandatory, right? He didn't have to fight George Kambosos. Bob Arum came out and busted him out again because Bob, he didn't want to put on the George Kambosos fight during the pandemic when they found out that they couldn't do it over in Australia. So Bob said, yeah, we'll make a fight with Devin Haney. And at that point in time, Haney was with DAZN. He was with Eddie Hearn. This is before he got with Top Rank. And they was trying to convince Teo to fight Devin. And Teo didn't want to fight Devin. He wanted to defend his strap against George Kambosos. So he did have a chance to fight Devin at that point in time. So depending on how you look at these situations, you can look at that situation and say, well, Teo was ducking Devin for years. Now, when it comes to Devin Haney, Devin ain't have no intentions on fighting Teofimo Lopez moving up to 140. One reason I know is because when Teo was running around talking about that he was going to retire, that he was going to relinquish that WBO strap, Devin Haney got wind of it. And what did Devin do? Instead of trying to fight Regis Prograis, the first thing that Devin tried to do is he tried to see if he could fight Arnold Barboza for Teofimo Lopez's vacant strap, because Arnold Barboza was going to be the next up in line. And of course, Devin Haney was going to be able to fight for that strap because Devin Haney came up from 135 and he was undisputed. So he had the option to pretty much pick what strap he wanted to fight for. So Devin rushed to the sanctioning bodies and was like, yeah, I'll fight Arnold Barboza for the vacant strap if Teofimo Lopez is going to vacate. And then Teo got wind of that and said, nah, I tricked you. I'm not retiring. And if Devin Haney want to fight, he going to have to fight me. Fight me for the WBO strap. You're not just going to be able to fight some bum and Arnold Barboza for my strap. Take it from me. And then we didn't hear nothing else from Devin or Bill Haney about fighting for that WBO strap. Then they immediately went the Regis Prograis route, what they had planned before the news came out, with Teofimo Lopez bluffing like he was going to retire. So a lot of people can look at that situation and say, well, Devin was ducking Teo. Devin ain't want to have no smoke with Teo moving up to 140. Now, my whole take on it is that I'm not going to say that either fighter was ducking or afraid of each other, because I know how boxing works. It's 90% business and matchmaking, right? Before anything. Boxing is 90% business and matchmaking. Let's just keep it real. So at certain points in time, Teo didn't have no intentions on fighting Devin Haney because they weren't looking to take a risk like Devin Haney at a certain point in time. And then when Devin was moving up to 140, he didn't want to fight Teo. He didn't want to take that risk. They was looking for the easiest opponent. Now, Regis Prograis ain't no punk. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like Regis Prograis is a punk. But one thing that Devin and Bill saw is that when Regis got in the ring with someone that could box and move, that was his kryptonite. We seen it against Zorilla, or whatever his name was, right? We seen Regis Prograis struggle, and a lot of people thought that he lost that fight to someone that nobody knew who he was. Now, I gave Regis the benefit of the doubt because I said, well, maybe he just, had an off night. I ain't grill him like everybody else did. But then we saw it again in the Devin Haney fight, right? Regis had no answer for somebody that could move and box and that had the reach advantage over him. See, if you look at Regis' Prograis career, he had really never boxed nobody that could box, that could move, right? The best fighter that he had fought was Josh Taylor, and they fought in the paint with each other. You know what I'm saying? They went to war. Josh Taylor wasn't moving and being slick. So, like I said again, boxing is 90% business and matchmaking, right? When you got a fighter, they make sure that they match these fighters up correctly. You know what I'm saying? It's all about matchmaking in boxing. With most of these fighters, it's all about matchmaking. So not to take anything from Devin Haney's victory over Regis Prograis, but they knew what they had in front of them. That's why Devin continued to say it all throughout the build-up. They didn't think that Regis had no chance of even competing with them, and Devin continued to say that. So yeah, they weren't going to move up and fight Teofimo Lopez. And when Teo was at 135, he ain't want no smoke with Devin. He wanted the easier competition with George Kambosos, but we know how that turned out, even though that George Kambosos is nowhere near on Teofimo Lopez's level. But in that situation, it shows you. And it showed me that Teofimo, he's a very, very good fighter, but he might not be a great fighter, because great fighters, they can overcome adversity and even find out how to win on a bad night. So I ain't gonna say that Teo ducked or Devin ducked. They just had different plans, right? Their plans have not been able to coincide with each other. Now, what I do know is that they need to fight each other. You know what I'm talking about? They both have 140 pounds. We know that Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum, they do business with each other. They don't have problems doing business with each other. So they do need to fight. And I want to see them fight each other in 2024. If neither one of them ain't gonna fight a Gervonta Davis, well, hey, y'all gotta fight each other. So all of that, he scared and he ducking. No, I don't really think that with neither one of these fighters, because both of these fighters, they've shown that they can both fight their ass off. They both very accomplished, but they need to fight each other. Y'all let me know what y'all feel about this whole situation. Make sure that you drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure that you hit my like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed. And y'all already know how I do. Diego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.
It's hater meeting, chalkboard material, get it, then fuck it. Hey, roll another blunt up, hit patchwork, rolling.